All right, what's up, everyone? This is the Osmo.com NHL Hit the Ice show. We've got a big 12-game slate in addition to other activities going on today. I'm sure all of you are at work and getting a lot of stuff done, just getting ready to enter in this big NHL slate. A lot of good contests on DraftKings. Nolan, how are you doing this afternoon? How's college basketball going?
It's good. It's good. My boy Kevin Gelly on Florida State just picked up a nice foul and is hitting free throws right now. So using Osmo's projections that I think are free, I'm in like 100th place in this massive college basketball tournament. So as always, his projections are the best. I know nothing about college basketball, but easily the most fun 2 days of sports. In my opinion, on the calendar year, these 2 days. So yeah, a little distracted today. You might see me poking over to the side here, but
Sure.
we'll try and keep it. We got a pretty interesting hockey slate to keep us on the ball here.
It is a good slate. I'm hoping people are not preparing properly and can take advantage
like me,
there.
they're just watching all the basketball.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what's going on. I'm getting just drilled with text right now. I don't know if it's about college basketball or what. So
Well, Michigan State's in a battle, so maybe that's what it is. Like they're pretty close with the 15 seed there. So yeah, we'll see.
nice. Well, I'm pretty sure I have them going pretty far, and I only did one bracket, so
Oof.
we'll
That's
see.
okay.
We'll see. Just a single bullet. I did not MME the brackets this year.
I'm happy in our Osmo internal league. Alex wrote this piece about how you shouldn't take Duke, and so I feel like there's like a little bit of strategizing going on, and like I was thinking like, all right, since Osmo wrote this anti-Duke piece, I'm gonna just take Duke, and I ended up with only me and one other guy have it in our pool. So I'll take it. I'll take that Duke.
Reverse game theory. I like it. I
Right?
like it.
Reverse. I'm like,
Small field. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. He did say take Duke in small field, so
Yeah.
I shouldn't. I got to give him credit for that. Let's dive into these games.
Yeah, let's do it. We'll go quick. 12 games. Some of them more interesting than others, per usual. So we've got Arizona and the Florida Panthers. 2.6 implied total for the Coyotes. 3 for the Panthers. Kemper, Luongo in net. What do we see here? Anything we like? Any changes that you've noticed off the bat?
Just give me 2 secs here. I'm just pulling up my screen.
I see our buddy Jace H on the second line instead of Vetrano.
Oh yes, yes, that's right. So that line led their team in 5-on-5 ice time last game, and it's looking like they're going to go back with Jace Howley-Ruck or whatever his name is, and then Vetrano was down on the third line, and I think that's pretty much it for changes for both of these teams. Arizona 4 is listed. Kind of did pretty. I think Arizona 1 led their team in ice time, pretty like 27% share last game, and then Arizona 4 actually kind of a sneaky spot tonight because people don't like playing fourth lines. Do we have them listed as a fourth line, that Galchenyuk line?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, so maybe not a great value, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do here. I'm kind of interested in Florida as one of the pivot plays. Oh, maybe we should talk a little bit about macro ownership. Like we're kind of in this discussion, we talked a little bit before we got on air about how like what are we gonna do with these really high priced, high owned chalk spots tonight. And so I said to Jake, I think what I'm gonna do is try and get off them a little bit and take some under owned plays in good spots. And I think Jake's you're kind of among the same.
Yeah,
You're sort of among the same mindset.
When there's so many lines up top that grade out really well, like it seems obvious, but like ownership usually goes to like the best stack. And it's kind of like baseball. I'm trying to get into the baseball mindset. Like the team with the highest implied total or whatever gets a ton of ownership, and then the team with like the third or fourth or fifth highest implied total or point projection for a line is like a third of the ownership. So for me, like I love Boston 1, I love Calgary 1. You can't look at the slate and be like, yeah, you don't like those stacks or whatever. But there's a bunch that are within like a point or a point and a half as far as projection goes that are going to have lower ownership than some of those stacks. And they kind of handcuff your lineups as well, is what I'm finding. And there are some really good defensemen to pay up for or pay into the mid-tier for. So that's kind of how I'm approaching it. Some of these lines that are under 20K or under 18K, there's quite a few of them in the 17.4 to 18K range that I really, really like. So for me, it just makes sense to go with the value, playing 150 and trying to stuff in as much value as I can. But yeah, it's I know it's a tough fade, and I'm not doing it intentionally. I'm just trying to follow what my numbers say, and my numbers say there are some really, really good defensemen tonight as well.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll get to Burns later, I'm sure. Someone in chat saying Calgary up to 5.2. No.
That's
4.5.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the highest total we've seen all year. 5, isn't it? 4.6 maybe.
Yeah. And not only, on some of those teams, Boston and Calgary, they both have good second lines too. So I don't know.
So for Osimo, the Calgary 2 is actually grading out as the better play tonight, getting an A grade, as well as an A value, as opposed to like the top line, which is an A grade but a D value. So I think that makes for there's some nice options if you want to just stay away from the real high end chalk tonight. Right. So one of these lines, one of the hottest lines in the NHL over the past few weeks, Florida 1. Tough matchup. Arizona plays a pretty tight game. Their PK is good, but maybe this line's matchup proof right now. I don't know. Are the underlying numbers supporting how good this Barkov line has been, or are they not sustainable?
I don't know if they're not sustainable. They've been good offensively. They've been better offensively and better defensively lately with this trio. So they're up to a positive Corsi for percentage, scoring chances for percentage, and all that stuff. So that's good to see. They've looked really good when I've watched them, and over the past couple of weeks as well. And the numbers support that too. So yeah, I like Florida 1. They're in that second tier, that next tier behind the Calgary ones and the Boston ones. So I'm trying to see how much of them I'm actually getting. I think there are some other lines that may be just a little bit cheaper than them that I like even more, but I'm going to have a couple Florida 1 shares just because I am not going as heavy on some of the top tier chalk that some people are, I think. Other stacks in this game, we both kind of like Florida 1 here a little bit.
I'm off Florida 2 with that news, so...
I want Vetrano on that line if I'm playing that line. So that's a little bit disappointing for me. And then defenseman here, I don't really love anyone on either side.
I'm right in the same boat. I think I'm just going to avoid Arizona tonight too, though you're going to get them at super low ownership if you want to go that route. So maybe not a bad filler stack option. Florida's not usually the best defensive team, so I can certainly see an argument for that.
Yep. All right. Let's go to the next one. Boston and the New Jersey Devils. This one shouldn't take too long. 3.4 implied total for the Bruins. 2.2 for the Devils. Tuukka Rask, Corey Schneider in net. And looks like more injuries for the Devils here somehow.
At least they get Zaka back. But, so now Palmieri is day-to-day. Miles Wood out. Bratt out. Hall obviously out. Vatanen out. Will Butcher is day-to-day now. Merkel Mueller has been out for a while. So this is just like... I don't know that I've ever seen a team this injured before, missing like basically half their roster. It's nuts. Good news for them. I think they'll get a top pick and be back next year. But for DFS purposes, Boston's the play tonight. I don't know how much Boston won I'm going to get to just because the price is so high. And then Johansson's still out for the Bruins. Krug's still out. So what I might try to do here is just get as much McAvoy as possible to sort of get a piece of this offense and maybe hope that he scores their goals or he's a big part of it. And then you can kind of get a part of it without having to pay too much.
Yeah, McAvoy is an exceptional play. All formats, all sites. So I think just a guy that's mispriced without Krug. And Krug's not ready to return, right? It's a concussion. So he's out this game. Is that right?
Yes, he's out. He's practicing with the team. I think he's expected to join them on this 4-game road trip that they're on at some point. But I think he's like officially out tonight.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure. So fire away at McAvoy.
Yeah,
I think one of the best values on the slate.
Yeah.
Even if you're not playing Boston 1. Boston 1's super, super expensive. So just to kind of reiterate what I'm doing, I'm not playing a ton of them. I am playing a lot of top defensemen once again. I haven't really changed my tune on that, even though it hasn't worked out a ton lately. This is a huge slate, and there's only a few stacks that really work with them that I actually care about. And then you're probably double punting defensemen too. So double stacking here, it's tough for me to get to Boston 1. It's obviously a great spot. They are on the road. If they were at home, maybe I would reconsider a little bit, but you're not getting a discount at all on them with Pasternak back. I know the Devils are banged up. I know they're terrible, but they have done an okay job at kind of slowing the pace down, even when they've been terrible. So
Yeah, outside of that, like 9-4 loss,
Mhm.
I can't even remember who that was too. But
Calgary,
outside of
wasn't
that, was that?
wasn't it Calgary? The Gaudreau
Yeah,
6.9.
that's right. That's right. So like outside of that, they've been pretty good. Like 4-1 loss to Washington. Washington really wasn't the nuts. Like Colorado 3-0 wasn't the nuts. Vancouver wasn't the nuts. Edmonton beat Edmonton 6-3. So like yeah, like pretty much every single game that they've been in. This is like on a pretty long West Coast road trip as well. They really haven't been giving up top line minutes to their or top line point totals to their opposing productions or opposing lines. So I think like Boston fade here is pretty interesting. I might try and get them just because it forces you to take in one of these like really low owned stacks, low owned third lines or something for GPPs from the Boston side. But yeah, definitely going to be underweight tonight.
Yeah, you're gonna need to find the be rich type of
Yeah,
stack
exactly.
to fit with them if they end up doing a ton of damage.
Which is viable for sure in large GPPs, just because from an ownership perspective. But
yeah, I just think they're going to be too owned for like their price and how much they hinder the rest of your lineup, and how like often they actually are the nuts in the spot. So
yeah,
that's my issue with them. It's if you want to play them, that's fine. Be my guest, but I did leave McAvoy off the cheat sheets unintentionally, so I'll have him up there in just a second. But yeah, just wanted to say I'm not trying to, withhold information. I am playing a bunch of McAvoy, so I fixed that just now. That should update in just a second. Anything else here? You playing Rask, by the way, 8,300?
I haven't actually built yet, so I'm guessing that's probably no. I don't know. Like, what are the New Jersey shot totals like? It's probably going to be like 20. You probably need one goal or a shutout from him, right? So I think the odds that he's going to be the nuts goaltender on a large slate are probably pretty slim, but
yeah, I don't really like the play at all. Boston does a good job suppressing shots anyways, so
yeah,
I'll pass on that as a one-off guy. If you're correlating with the second line or something, that maybe, but outside of that, I don't really. You're not getting him with the top line. You're really struggling for salary if you try to do that. So
yeah, exactly.
All right, next game, Tampa and Carolina. 3.2 implied total for the Lightning, who played last night. 3.4 for the Hurricanes. Domingue expected to go against McElhinney, who is just 7K. What do we see new here, if anything?
I'm not much. I don't think there's any major changes. Tampa played last night, so I don't know. Did you catch anything?
I did not. So I was
looking like the same. I said to you before we got on here, I kind of like Carolina as a sneaky play tonight at very low ownership, I'm assuming. Tampa coming off back-to-backs, no Vasilevsky, tough matchup against Washington in a big game last night. No one's going to go to Carolina here. I'm guessing they'll be like 5% to 7% owned, maybe more, maybe I'm off base. So that's my play for tonight. I'm going to be overweight on them.
I don't think they're going to be 5%. Interesting. I don't know. There are a bunch of good spots, but they have a 3.4 implied total. They've had this line that's been really good. They have the second line also that makes for a decent filler, I think. But regardless, like if they're under 10, I think that's a win for Carolina 1. I fawn over them every show. I'm doing it again here. They're going to be my highest or second highest exposed stack here. Love the total. Wasn't expecting to see 3.4 this morning. I think they're up to like 3.5 at some point today.
Damn.
But yeah, Tampa on the road is a little bit of a different team for me. They gave up 50 shots last night and got bailed out by Vasi. So downgrade at goalie, assuming he's not playing after giving up 50. After they gave up 50 plus shots, he got a pretty good workload in. They don't need to play him here. So yeah, I'm just all over Carolina 1, hoping they don't hard match against really any line and they just kind of go up against everyone. But they were okay against the Crosby line last game too. So maybe they're just kind of matchup proof at this point, and I think they probably are, and they're not priced like they are. So yeah, give me some Carolina 1 and then Carolina 2 as a filler. I'm definitely going to go there as well.
Yeah, I like that call. With Svechnikov up there, it just makes it so much cheaper. So
yeah. Yep. They also have really good numbers, Carolina 2. Anything else here? Are you looking at anything on the Lightning side? It is a 3.2 implied total for them.
Yeah, that's not much, hey? That's a
pretty. I
low
mean,
total.
yeah, I don't know. I thought we would see a 6 total here, not 6.5. So I guess I was just surprised in general at how this game came out. But Vegas is obviously smarter than me, so they're onto something
Yeah.
here, I think.
Yeah, lowest total I've seen in a while from Tampa. I think we've seen. The other thing I like about Carolina one is you can stack them with McElhinney at 7K
Mhm.
on DK, which is a super cheap option tonight, and you're getting a home favorite with. So yeah, that just sort of makes them a little bit even more viable to me.
Yeah, I think I am getting some Tampa 2 as well here. Carolina's playing a little bit more up tempo. And I'm trying to load my fantasy cruncher to see exactly what I got to them. But here, let's see. It's going real slow. Maybe not. Maybe I wasn't getting to a lot of them. I don't know. I don't think it's the best spot for Tampa 2, but they're going to be low owned. So there you go. They're still awesome. They disappointed last night on a short slate. That's probably in the heads of some people as well. We know that
Mhm.
recency bias, you can capitalize off recency bias in DFS and especially in a variant sport like hockey. So I don't mind it as the kind of contrarian spend up compared to Boston 1 and Calgary 1. They're going to be unowned, I think.
Yeah,
What
that's a
about
great point.
any defensemen here? I know you mentioned McElhinney. I kind of agree with him. I like him as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure Hamilton's a fine play. He always is. Sergachev disappointed last night, but he's still getting those huge minutes, I think. I haven't checked actually on his minutes, but anytime you're paired with Hedman. So he got 20 minutes last game. I think he's a fine play at that price. He's getting his power play 2 time. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked into any bargain plays than that range. McAvoy's probably better, but I don't hate him at 39.
Yeah. Man, I don't know that I'm going to a lot of defensemen here. I'm kind of concentrated on a few guys tonight, and yeah, really no one from this game, it looks like. So,
Just all the Nick Cronwall, right?
yeah, Cronwall, Christian Folan, all these scrubs. All right, next game we've got the Islanders and the Montreal Canadiens. 2.4 implied total for the Isles, 2.8 for the Canadiens. Thomas Greiss expected to go for the Islanders, I believe, and Carey Price for the Canadiens. Any news here?
Yeah, so Eberle is a game time decision tonight. Lads moved up to the top line. Bailey, Nelson, Del Cole on the second line. Then Kunak is supposed to center the second line. So some new lines for the Islanders off of their just abysmal performance of the night. I think they had 13 shots against Boston. So is that right? That's just crazy if that's right. So yeah, no interest in the Islanders here, even with their line changes. And then I think everything's the same for Montreal. Their top line got a lot of ice time last game. So if I was to go anywhere, it might be to the Montreal 1 or Montreal 2. But yeah, just with these price points and this low total, I think you can avoid this game almost entirely.
Ooh, I
What were
don't.
you?
I like Montreal here.
Yeah.
They've treated me well when I've been on them, kind of at low ownership. But I do think it's a pretty good spot if you look at what the Islanders have done lately. No Everly doesn't really help either. Not a great defense core for them, and they're on the road here. Just been leaking chances all over the place. So
Yeah.
I like Montreal's top 2 here. So we really differ on this game, I suppose.
No,
Uh,
it's fair. Like I haven't on it. Like I'll defer to you, all the time, obviously, because you're sharper than I am. And I think that I just kind of saw the total and got off of it, like the 2.8, and just the price points for these as well. They're a little bit much, but you're certainly going to get them at low ownership
Yeah.
because the perception of the Islanders as such a great defensive team will, you're going to be like 4% on either of these lines. I think even less maybe. So from that perspective, they're a great play as well.
I just think really, really good value on both and maybe all 3 of these Montreal lines. Like I think Kotka and Niemi's line is also viable even on a big slate. So I don't really consider them a third line. They're listed as a third line. But I think that line is going to really have some talent offensively. And they already do. So I'm not saying anything out of the ordinary. Looks like their power plays have switched up too. A little bit more correlation. The third line, all PP1, if that's going to be a thing, I think you definitely have to give them a look for those prices. And then, yeah, we've just seen how dominant this Dano line is at 5-on-5. They're kind of getting back to their ways. The Barzell line, while I think it's going to be good, Ladd, I'd much rather go up against Ladd than Eberle. So yeah, give me some Dano, Tatar, and Gallagher. And yeah, I just really, really like Montreal, and I like that the total's low. I think that's going to get most people off of them on a big slate.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Osmo kind of has them as middling value, but his projections are more based on season long stuff, right?
Yeah.
They aired more towards that, so
yeah,
you're not going to see these recent Islanders numbers with that. Yeah. All right.
All right. I'm trying to look at. Oh wait, never mind. Yeah, we're good. We're good on this game, I think. I like Weber a little bit, and then Petrie is kind of the guy I'm getting to a little bit more just because of his price at 4,500. So take that for what you will. There are a couple guys, like I said, that I'm going heavy on for defensemen. These guys are players that I'm getting to some shares of, and then not really anything on the Islanders side here. Ready to move on?
Yeah.
All right, Detroit and St. Louis, we've got a 2.1 implied total for the Red Wings, 3.5 for the Blues. Jonathan Bernier and Jordan Binnington, double A grade Jordan Binnington in net. How many Blues is too many tonight?
Yeah, I like this line. Like that top line, a little bit pricey. Not great, not the greatest value, but they should destroy that competition. I don't know what are you seeing like matchup wise here? Will they go up against Larkin or
the O'Reilly line? Yeah, I would think they go up against Larkin. And
so
go ahead.
The only advantage here though is that at least Detroit's kind of been mixing up their lines a little bit. I think no line had above 16% or something 5-on-5 share. So maybe that happens again tonight, and like they're just unable to match. I don't know, but I guess like it would just be like whoever Larkin is skating with, right?
Yeah.
So go up against. So
it's going to be Larkin versus O'Reilly, I would think here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, St. Louis won, just incredible 5-on-5 numbers, good power play matchup. Detroit takes a good amount of penalties as well, so really nothing holding me back from them. Their price in comparison to some of these other top stacks is just better. So my lineups look better with St. Louis 1 than they do with like a what's it called, Calgary 1 or Boston 1. So yeah, just absolutely love them. It feels point chasey, but going to this second line, I don't think is a bad idea either if they're going to go up against Athanasiou and Vanek. They were dominant last game, and you kind of expect that with Schwartz and Perron. So I think just a really well-constructed line. And we were on them last time, but neither of us ended up having the nut combo. Yeah, nut combo. Schwartz hat last game, Yep, Schwartz hat last game. Don't remind me, but yeah, I don't think that's point chasing. I think that these are two really good lines. So I just think St. Louis is really solid all around. It's a shame that they started off so poorly this season, because now they've turned it around and look like one of the better teams. Pietrangelo, you playing him, I'm sure, for 5,800?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. His price is up, so it's kind of a tough call. I think they're just spots that I'd rather go to tonight, but I think he's a pretty fine play. I don't know. I'm just like, I think I have a personal bias against Pietrangelo. Maybe it was just his bad start to the season. I don't know. What about you?
Yeah, I really like him. He's one of the guys I'm going pretty heavy on. So he's going to be in that top tier for me with the Burnses and the Giordanos. So
nice. Yeah, he's been killing it lately. He's got multiple point games in 2 or 3 of his last 10. So 25 minutes a game, 5,800. That's not a bad price.
No, not bad at all. I think the Blues should wreck him here pretty good.
Yeah. Actually, in that range, really, like, what are you looking at? Like,
Weber.
There's not much.
Yeah.
Like, he's clear, far and away the best in that upper 5K range. Maybe like Seth Jones.
Yeah.
But
I think I'd have Pietrangelo over all of them, and I do. So there you have it.
Nice.
All right, Pittsburgh and Nashville. We've got a 2.7 implied total for the Penguins, 3.4 for the Preds. Matt Murray and Pekka Rinne in net. This game seems like it should be a national TV game. Maybe it is.
Yeah.
Anything you see here?
So just that the Penguins moved Rust up last game, like right in the middle, which that was actually my one stack with my St. Louis 3 team, and it cost me. So yeah, Bluger on line 3 with Kessel and McCann now. Bukestad, Simone, and Hornqvist. I guess those are some new combos for them.
No, those are the same. They just switched to you just seeing them as line 2 and line 3.
But McCann on the third line.
Oh yeah.
Did McCann and Russ switched
Yeah, I think so.
last game?
Yep.
So I guess McCann hasn't played with them, I guess is what I'm saying. So he's a little bit overpriced, but and then on the other side, yeah, Nashville all the same. Just the power plays are still so screwed up for Nashville. It's great. They're in an interesting spot tonight because with Malkin out, so Pittsburgh's a little bit weekend, low total. I kind of like low owned Nashville 1 tonight. How about you?
Yeah, I like it a lot. Just, again, one of those lines. They've got similar numbers to Calgary. They've got similar numbers to Boston, and actually better numbers than those lines. They're cheaper, and I think they're going to be lower owned. So I'd kind of be a fool to not go to a bunch of Nashville 1 here. And, yeah, they're going to be up there as the top exposed line for me. I hope they don't spend a lot of time against Crosby. I think they will. But just seeing what Carolina 1 did against Crosby's line last game, they were able to generate like 17 shot attempts and 10 scoring chances during that game. So hopefully it's not a hard match, but if it is, I don't think it's the end of the world here, especially at this price. It's just such a good price for Nashville 1 here. And maybe they see some extra time against the Bukestad line, against the Bluger line. That would be preferred, but not required here.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah.
You're going heavy on here?
No, I think that's it. You getting any Yossi at all?
Yeah, not as much as I originally thought. So he's not like, I don't have as much of him as I do Pietrangelo or a guy like Gio. So that's a little bit concerning, especially when I do like this top stack so much. But they just haven't been good on the power play, so I'm kind of splitting hairs.
That's the problem. I think for $1,600 less, PK Subban is just as viable a play. He's ice time's up. They tend to split the power play time. He's actually got 2 players, I think, from Nashville 1 on his power play unit. So, I don't know. PK Subban's priced down. He hasn't had a great season. But I still like him at that price. I'm going to continue to use him.
Yep.
He's 4,600.
Fantasy Sharpie in chat. The difference between Nashville 1 and the other top lines is the awful PP. Yeah, that's the problem. It's still not holding me back enough just because the even strength numbers are so nasty. That anything on the PP, I think, is extra. So you just need 1 power play goal, and I like
that would double Nashville's total on the season.
Right, like that's what it feels. They just never score on the power play. I don't know why. It's the same personnel. It's the exact same personnel as they
you
had
have
last
like
year.
4 puck moving defensemen, an elite line. You got like all these guys like Smith, Simmons, Boyle,
Forsberg,
just
Arvidsson,
Granlund just snipe from 3 feet out, and you can't get a power play going. I don't get it.
It feels like they're just going to do this all regular season and then just go nuts in the playoffs on the power play. They'll have like a 45% conversion rate.
It could be, for sure.
There's just no explanation why they shouldn't be good on the power play, or at least somewhere closer to average. So
I'm just going to look up their recent stats right now to see if they're getting any better since the trade deadline.
Yeah, well, that's why they went out and got Simmons and Boyle and Granlund.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. That's a good question. If they have been any better, I'm gonna look at them quick in the month of March.
18th in scoring chances 4 over their last 10, so not great. Haven't looked at the.
It looks like okay in month of March, they're 4 for 18, 22.2%. So super small sample. Maybe they're turning it around a little bit.
And they're actually like, let me go to rates here because they're actually not drawing a lot of penalties. Looks like they're near the bottom in the league in terms of ice time. So if you go to rates, they're actually pretty respectable. 13th in scoring chances 4, and over the last 10 games, and 18th, 17th in high danger. So maybe an improvement.
They've drawn the fourth most power play opportunities as well this season. It's like they're getting the chances. So give me one Nashville power play goal, just one time, and I think they can do enough at 5-on-5 to make it worth it here. So, on the Preds again, no shock there. And then I think a couple viable defensemen, and I'm not really on the Penguins here at all. Are you?
No Penguins tonight.
Okay. All right, Flyers and Blackhawks. We've got a 3.3 implied total for the Flyers, 3.6 for the Hawks. Carter Hart and Corey Crawford expected to go here. This one going to be a shootout?
Yeah, you seem to think so. I mean, I guess it makes a lot of sense given that we have two pretty porous defensive teams here. So I didn't really know what to do with this. On the Philly side of things, their lines are so jumbled that it's really hard to get on them. I think again we saw another game where they were like 18% own or 18% at 5-on-5 was the top combo. So that's difficult when you're continually one every two games. You don't know if they're going to rotate in game. And then on the Chicago side, Kane is up with Taves and Sakura. And Sad is down on the third line tonight. So a little bit of a different look there from them. I think they did that last game as well. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like I have no feel for Chicago. I've been fading them lately, and I'm probably going to keep fading them. But I'm open to being convinced otherwise.
Yeah. I think they made it easier for us, Taves and Kane being together.
Yeah.
Or at least that's expected.
Taves is $6,800 though. Like he's so expensive for what
he is shooting more, and then if you get Sakura in there for $2,900, like that's really affordable. And Sakura's not bad at all.
I just think like given the other options on this slate, when you have like O'Reilly, Aho, and sort of like similar price line combos, who are gonna come in at less ownership, I think I'd rather go elsewhere.
That makes sense. I'm not gonna be at the field with Chicago, but I understand why someone would want to go heavy. Philadelphia's giving up a lot of quality chances lately. Taves and Kane expected to be together. You've got the second line that I don't really love. I just don't love the price on them compared to some of these other lines tonight. So I'm just kind of shopping elsewhere as far as going heavy on Chicago. I'm just not really doing it tonight. The line I will play some of, though, is going to be the Taves, Kane, Sakura line, like I said. Hoping they don't see a lot of Couturier, Voracek. I have a feeling, though, Couturier is going to be on the ice a ton tonight, once again. Same thing with Giroux. So give me the guy, like, I just don't think the Patrick Van Riemsdyk Giroux line is as likely to stay together as at least Couturier and Voracek. So give me them. Give me Philly 1 plus Lindblom.
Yeah. All right.
Kane double shifts.
I think that's probably decent. Like if just going by what we've seen from Chicago, it's probably a decent play. And if it's one of those games where they end up sticking together, then advantage you.
Yeah, exactly. All right. They're going to skate some with Giroux. Couturier and Voracek are going to skate some with Giroux. Are they still technically in the playoffs? In the playoff picture? I think they are. But
I don't know.
Carter Hart's in net for the Flyers. Someone asking in chat.
So they have 78. No, they can't be. No, they're like 9 points back.
Okay. Yeah, I think they needed to get close, like winning out or something.
Maybe they're 6 points back. So yeah, I guess you're in the picture if you're 6 points back.
Okay. Yeah. Well, they were talking about it in the Pittsburgh game, maybe on Sunday or something, and they came back.
Yeah.
So, okay, I guess you're probably going to see a bunch of Giroux with Couturier and Voracek if this game stays close. So that's all right.
Yeah.
I'll still play Lindblom. I think they're going to still play 8 to 10 minutes together at 5-on-5 plus power play time. Yeah, and then the Chicago defensemen almost never grade out well for me. The guy that is the best play, though, I think, is Gustafsson. Just more aggressive a lot of the time and top power play with Kane and Taves. So just play the guys that correlate to the best players, DeBrincat as well. So, yeah. Anything else here?
No defenseman for me. No goaltenders.
All right. Avs and Stars, 2.5 implied total for the Avs, 2.9 for the Stars. Philip Grubauer and Ben Bishop expected to go here. Do we see any changes?
So that Rupe Hintz is back up on the top line. I think Janmark started their last game. Is that right? Or am I getting my games confused? But it might be moot anyways because Ben played the most with us again in Radulov last game. It's an interesting debate as to what to do here. I don't know if you just roll Ben out there on this stack, or the advantage of actually taking Hintz is that you do still get the power play 1 combination if they end up rolling that line. So, and with Dickinson back up on the second line, I think there's a legit possibility that they go back to that tonight. So you have the added correlation of Dallas 1 and Hintz on the power play. That's something to think about. And then on the Avs side, they're in-game shuffling again. I don't know if I forgot to check, but I'm guessing they're just putting McKinnon and Rantanen together at periods during the game. But again, we saw a scenario where there's no one above, I think, 18% at 5-on-5 share. So more shuffling from Colorado. I'm not going to have too much of them.
Yeah. I was kind of looking at the same thing. Like, I just don't know which line's going to stick together. The one that did stick together the most was Soderberg, McKinnon, and Wilson. But I mean, they're fighting for a playoff spot too. So you're going to see Rantanen with McKinnon. And I don't know that you can just go like McKinnon, Brassard, Rantanen here. Because if you do that, there's just lines that I like way better. So for that same price. So I think Dallas is my main target here. Dallas's top power play / top line. I like that Hintz is back on the top line. He's been sticking there when they've played him there, or when they started him there the last few games. You can still play Ben if you want. That gets really pricey. So I'll just take the discount on Hintz, a guy who we've seen has offensive upside when he's playing with Sagan and Radulov. So mostly just Dallas one here. And then Klingberg's going to come up a little bit for me. So when I update projections, he's a guy that I'll be working more into my lineups, I think, as I get closer to lock.
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of like Dallas is one of these teams. I don't know. Like, I guess, what do you think Dallas ownership ends up at tonight?
Man, that's a good question. Double digits, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. There's so many places to go. And, like, if you want to, like, because Dallas is hot and this is a perceived great matchup for their power play, they could actually be, like, sneakily one of the most owned lines tonight. I didn't really think about that when I first looked at things, just thinking everyone would flock to Calgary and Boston. But with Boston's price point, you could end up with just getting them at a pretty low rate, or much lower than we think. You got Chicago, Dallas, Calgary, and Boston all kind of splitting ownership, and then maybe St. Louis as well.
Yeah. Man, I didn't see Dallas being chalky, but I'll probably be around 10% on them. So it's not like one of my favorite spots, but they are a line that I'm getting to, and I'm going double mid-tier.
They're hot right now, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that's – and they're coming off a big game, little recency bias there. I actually kind of like them tonight, so I might try and get overweight.
All right, nice. I like it. All right, let's go to the next one.
4.5. This will be a
fun one. Senators, Flames. We're showing 2.6 to Ottawa, 4 flat for the Flames. Maybe that could be a little bit off. Anderson and Mike Smith in net. Ottawa played last night, surrendered 7 goals.
Put up 5.
I think it was 7-5, 7-4. I don't remember what it was.
5, I think 5. 4, maybe 4.
Yeah. So, what do we do here with Cal? Do we like anything on Ottawa? First of all, can we get them out of the way?
Nothing.
The only player I have exposure to is Christian Yaros as a $2,700 guy. Yeah. Maybe
actually ended up with a lot of him last night, and it did not go well.
How about our buddy?
A lot's a strong word, but
how about our buddy Brandstrom?
How about that Varano guy? He's like, he gets a point every game he plays.
Yeah, that guy's decent. All right, so what are we doing with Calgary? What are you doing with Calgary? I think we can all agree it's going to be one of the chalkiest spots in the night, the top line.
Yeah.
The second line's going to be a somewhat popular filler, but the price point with Tkachuk priced up, it's not perfect, I don't think. So it's not like they're just a $14K line that you can just jam in. Like, you got to work a little bit to get Calgary too, even. So what are you doing as far as exposures with each of the top 2?
Yeah. It's interesting. Like, I think if you're going to play Calgary 1, maybe the spot to differentiate, one spot you can start to get leverage is to just not have Mike Smith and hope that he just has like a 2-goal, 14-save win. I don't know. I'm just going to, like, basically, I'm assuming that this line is going to be 30% owned tonight. Do you think that it gets that high, or?
No, I don't think 30. I would have I don't know that anyone's going to be above 20.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, 12-game slate. I mean, I don't think so. I don't think anybody's going to be above 20. So I'd be really surprised to see him at 30. I think there's I said, there's only so many lines you can stack them with.
Yeah.
So.
That's a good point. Maybe like 20 to 25 would be a better number for them. So, I mean, like, if you full stack, maybe Lindholm's number gets down a little bit from that. Maybe he's at like 15.
Yeah, he'll be the one that's left off a little bit, I think.
So like a Calgary won a full stack with Lindholm and that if that's only like 15 to 17%, like that's actually not that bad when you have such a high total. So I might have a couple shares of them. I know that the second line does get an A grade and an A value from Awesemo. So I might have a few shares of them, but they're super expensive. In their favor, they did lead the team in 5-on-5 ice time last game. So big minutes for them. Don't hate to play. The only real reason to get off Calgary here is just ownership.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
It's an ownership thing for me. And just, I don't see a ton of value, like I see value either in actual price for some of these other lines or ownership that are a little bit cheaper or, 1 to 2K cheaper than them or even 3K cheaper than them that aren't that far away. So like I said, I think it'd be dumb for me to play a bunch of Calgary 1 when I don't love how my lineups are looking in general with them. So yeah, and I'm paying up, like Eric says in chat, I'm paying up for defensemen. I'm paying up for Geo. Really tough to fit Geo with them as well, unless you're playing LA3 or something like that. So yeah, it's just, I'd rather go with two like mid-tier lines and have a realistic chance at each of them scoring 3 goals, Whereas I think if you play Calgary 1, that's great. They're probably going to score 2 or 3 times here. But first of all, are they going to be the top raw point stack? I don't know. I don't think there's a 20% chance of that. I don't really think any line has a 20% chance at on a 12-game slate. So I don't know that they're going to be the raw point leader here, plus ownership, plus the rest of your lineup really suffers when you play a 21K line. So those are my reasons. They probably are going to score a bunch of times, a couple times here. So I'm going to try not to tilt when that happens right away. But as long as St. Louis won or Nashville won or one of these other lines, Columbus won, Vegas, I haven't even talked about them yet. As long as they can come close to matching them, I think I'll be okay.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. It's like you got to think of it in the context of how likely is this line to be the top scoring line on the night, and like if they get their 2 goals and Columbus 1 gets 3, then advantage you, right? So I think the fade is definitely viable here, and that's like I'm definitely going to be underweight. I might have like 1 or 2 FOMO teams, but
right, there is some FOMO, and with 150, let's see where I'm at.
Yeah.
My last crunch I got. Wait, I can't even find them. I don't even know if I got any on my last crunch, so I probably won't have none. I'll probably have 4 or 5 Calgary 1 lineups out of my 150 and just call it good there, or something like that. But there's just way too many options for me to kind of pass up at better prices. So I get that it's Ottawa. I get that it's a back-to-back. Calgary's probably going to score 5 goals here. I'm just hoping it can be somewhat spread out. Maybe go heavier on this Calgary 2 line. And then Geo. Got to play Geo, I think.
Yeah, that's the other way to attack this game is like you just have Giordano, and same thing as I said with McAvoy, right? If you get Giordano and he just kind of starts siphoning some of the point totals away from the line, maybe he gets, you
need the goal. You need the Geo goal, right? I think
hasn't been happening lately though.
Yeah.
But yeah. If you get the Geo goal, or you get and he's just a big part of their offensive output, then you can kind of mitigate the damage done by Calgary 1. So I like that as sort of a mini pivot off that line while still getting exposure to that high total.
Yeah, he's the one I'm prioritizing in this game. So
yeah,
give me all the Geo.
So
that is
price,
that's a misprice on Geo. Yeah. He should be closer
to
7K, I think here.
You could go really heavily overweight, and I don't think it's going to cost you too much, knock on wood, but you're probably looking at a pretty safe floor there.
You would think so. All right. Any third line here? I don't really think it's
No. Sam Bennett back for the Flames tonight. It looks like he's a game time decision. But yeah, no, I don't know. Actually, I didn't really think about that, to be honest. But it's a viable strategy to go with the third line on a high game total at really low ownership. I don't know if it's a good one tonight to go to, but I could certainly see that paired with another high price stack.
Sure. Yeah, that would be the only reason. It's not. It's not like a sneaky play I'm even trying to get to. So I probably won't end up with any of them.
Jankowski's minutes are up. I don't know if that was because Monahan's out, but he's been getting like 13, 15 minutes. So
yeah, still not great. I don't think.
Yeah, that's fair. It's just the odds of them being like that good on a big slate like this are so small.
Mm-hmm. Blue Jackets and Oilers. We got a 3.3 implied total for the Blue Jackets, 2.8 for the Oilers. Jonas Korpisalo going up against Mikko Koskinen. Terrible Mikko Koskinen. Any news here?
Nick Foligno out for the Blue Jackets. I think Seth Jones is still their power play quarterback. Draisaitl's been moved off the top line, and he's on the second line with, I think, Lucic and Gagne, I want to say. I could probably just look at our screen here. And then, Chason. And then Nugent Hopkins is up on the top line tonight. So slight changes. Maybe people aren't on top of that change for the Oilers. If that's the case, you might be able to get a little bit of leverage on the field there. But for me, I'm kind of targeting Columbus 1 and Columbus 2 as sort of low-priced stacks that are in a good position and will go overlooked tonight.
Yeah, I just way more on the Columbus side here. I kind of like that Nugent Hopkins is listed on the top line here for Edmonton, just because I don't have any confidence that that is going to hold true for even most of the game. I think Draisaitl, there's a very good chance he ends up there at second or third period. So, you're kind of paying up for McDavid here always, and it's really tough to do that when you don't really know who his line mates are going to be. So that's the benefit or the detriment of having Ken Hitchcock as your coach. So I'm not really on McDavid. It worries me a little bit. Big total game, and he's at home, and it could be a high-paced matchup. But as long as Kassian's not going nuts, and as long as Nugent Hopkins isn't going nuts, I think I will be okay, which is a pretty obvious thing to say. But anyways, I just think the pricing here for Columbus is really good. Dubois at under 4,500. He's 4,300. And then you've got Atkinson under 7K, Panarin just pricing plummeting. And this line is just really awesome at 5-on-5, and two of them are on the power play together, the two best parts, Panarin and Atkinson on the power play. They're going to go up against McDavid a lot, which you love. McDavid will probably go up against the Duchesne line as well a little bit, which you love. And, yeah, I'm all over Columbus's top two lines here. So we'll be having a lot of Blue Jackets.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great. It's a great spot tonight. Price down, double-A grade from Osimo, and the second line led the team in ice time last game, and that's an intriguing play to me, just because they're like going to be totally overlooked, and they've been pretty good together. I know Torts has liked them. Don't have their numbers handy, but
they've been awesome, and it's like 60 minutes or whatever. But 68 shot attempts, 40 scoring chances, 17 high danger chances. Like
so
that is
even like Duchesne really is priced down. Zingle is pretty cheap. Anderson's pretty cheap. So that's like, it's the price of a filler stack with maybe the upside of a top line. So yeah, I think that the Columbus 1-2, I think you're spot on. That's a great spot to target tonight, because I don't think it's going to be owned as much as it should.
I think the top line will be owned a little bit. I don't think the second line will be owned very much at all. Zingle at 4,700 is going to scare some people off. He's not on the power play. There's no power play correlation really for the second line. So that's going to worry some people. But, I mean, great. Go up against McDavid. I don't know how much they're going to, but they will some. Then your other options are going up against Lucic and Draisaitl and Chason and Brodziak. Like, there's just not a bad matchup here for the Oilers. Yeah. So, I really love this second line. I like the way they've played so far, and I think we're going to get pretty low ownership on them.
Beauty.
What about defensemen here? Klefbom, Nurse, Jones, Werenski?
No, maybe Jones. I don't know. I like your Pietrangelo call, though. There's probably just better plays, really, at the end of the day. Klefbom on the power play 1 for Edmonton if you want to go that route. So Nurses looks like he's off. But yeah, not really getting much on the Edmonton side. Just targeting Columbus here.
I would probably just play Klefbom if you're playing an Oilers defenseman, just because he's on the top power play with McDavid. So there you have it. And then Jones, it's hard not to like the spot. I just am getting to more Pietrangelo at that same price. So that's where I'm taking the stand. It's splitting hairs, but that's kind of a little bit of a stand that I'm making. All right, Jets and the Golden Knights. We've got a 2.8 implied total for the Jets, 3.6 for the Golden Knights. Hellebuck and Malcolm Subban getting another start. Anything different here?
Didn't see it. Jets played last night, so there probably not going to be any changes on that one. Not sure if Beaulieu will be back tonight. He's day-to-day. He didn't play last night, so I'm guessing he's out tonight as well, though you can double-check that. Joe Morrow drew in. I don't know. I'm just going to check his minutes right now. I don't know if that's like – he's pretty bad, so I wouldn't get too excited about playing him, but he was on the top pairing, I think, with Trouba. So it's interesting at 2,500, and then everything the same for Vegas, I think. So Vegas 1, do you think Vegas 1 is going to be popular tonight?
I do think they will be somewhat popular just because of the pricing, and that's fine. I really like that. I do have Vegas 2 quite a bit farther ahead of them, though. I don't think they're going to hard match. I think they're both going to see some of the Scheifele line, which is, oddly enough, the one you want to target. So I think we talked about this yesterday. I just think the second line's better right now, Stone, Pacioretty, and Stastny. And I hope the ownership's split or, it's in favor of Vegas 1 because I just love Vegas 2 here.
It's like this is the breakout I've been waiting for Vegas for all season long, just rostering them, and I kind of don't want to get off them now because I've put so much into them and lost. So might have a little bit of shares here, but Vegas 2 is just dominant. So I think they're probably the better play on paper for sure.
Yep, and price is a thing. It is a skill game, so it's not the exact same price for these two stacks, which makes it difficult. But yeah, I'll take Vegas 2. I'm
Vegas 2 more expensive?
Vegas 2 is more expensive.
That's good then. That means people are less likely to play it because it's
by a little bit. Yeah, they're really close, but yeah, Vegas 2 by a little bit. And Vegas 1 recency bias with them as well. But give me some Mark Stone and Pacioretty. That's really awesome. NBA talk going on in the chat.
Whoa!
This is not. This isn't NBA.
March Madness only. That's it.
Yeah.
If you wanna talk about Michigan State about to choke away a second seed, you can. But that's.
Are they losing?
1 point up. 6 minutes to go on Bradley.
Oh, okay. Wow. All right. Well. What about anything else here? Defenseman or Winnipeg?
Yeah, Trouba's back. Trouba's price is starting to skyrocket a bit. So what is he? 5,800 on DK now.
57.
57. So I'll take the extra 400 and take Giordano 100 times out of 100.
Yeah, I agree.
Vegas.
Shea Theodore, I absolutely love for 5K, and I don't think people will be on that. So, yeah, give me Shea Theodore. Just been shooting like a madman. And
do you ever worry that these Vegas D just never seem to kind of? I guess I'm totally off base here. I'm just looking at his numbers. He's been awesome lately.
Yeah, just attempting so many shots all of a sudden. So yeah. I love when that happens. I love being kind of early on a guy, and he's just not going to be owned here. Yeah. I don't think that much.
That's a great
5K.
spot.
All right, and then I don't really like much on the Jets side. Sharks and well, go ahead.
Sorry, just is Theodore still in the power play one there?
Yep.
Is it because they were Okay, good.
Yep. So you can play him with either line. I think Stone is on that top power play, and then Carlson, Marchessault, Smith as well.
Nice.
Sharks.
Yeah. Splitting time, but yeah, good. I like that. I like that call. Sorry, go ahead.
Sharks and Kings, 3.4 implied total for the Sharks, 2.5 for the Kings at home. Martin Jones against Jonathan Quick. Anything newsworthy here?
Pavelski's still day-to-day. He's not expected to play in tonight's game, though I feel like there's a small chance, but Paul Gackel's reporting that there's no chance. So still be Nyquist on the top line. Not sure why, but that line didn't get a lot of ice time last game. I don't know if it's because they were getting blown out by Vegas, but the game got away from them late, so I don't know that would be a reason. So yeah, they were actually far below I think they were the third highest line on the night. And then if you really want to go deep dive for your leverage play, Tyler Toffoli. He was listed as a game time decision, but I guess he is back tonight. So that's been taken off the report. So never mind my terrible play at low ownership. You don't have to make fun of me for it.
LA 2? Yeah. That's actually okay. They're dirt cheap. and they're probably
Dirt
going to
cheap.
get.
I just thought like dirt cheap and Toffoli was a game time decision. So last game of the night, it's going to be like 0.1% owned
Right.
for your Boston Calgary stacks.
At least they shoot. At least they generate shot attempts. So
Yeah.
I don't like whatever they're. If you're going to Calgary 1 or whatever, Boston 1, then I don't have a problem with that. If you want to sneak them in a lineup or two out of 150. What about the Sharks? Because I'm not really getting to them much, which is worrisome. And I don't think they're going to be heavily owned. So I'd like to get to some. Do you have a preference? I mean, what about Pavelski?
No, I think people are so sick of taking Burns and just getting burned by him. It's been like 2 weeks straight where he hasn't delivered, and people have been owning him, right? So it's a pivot tonight, I think, almost decently priced compared to what he has been at, and you're going to get him like with so many other lines priced up and so many affordable defensemen. You're going to get him, I think, at sub 10% ownership tonight.
Burns.
Yeah, Burns. You think?
I wonder, man. I thought he was going to be low owned last slate, and he was like 20% or something like
20.
that, 20 or 25. This is a 12 gamer, and there are expensive stacks that we've talked about, so a little bit tougher.
He was
to
25. That was a 4-gamer, right?
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
That was a Vegas game.
Maybe you're right. Maybe he is around like 10%. So
yeah, I think so. I think people are tired of it. So this might be a good spot to get back on. At the risk of being made fun of by everyone, because we've been touting him for a good solid 3 weeks now. But yeah, so like if I'm going Sharks here, I'm just going to go to Burns and call it a day. Though I think like you could go San Jose 2 here or San Jose 1 and get another pretty solid combo at low ownership in a good spot.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm probably going to just choose one of these Sharks lines. What about Pavelski? Did you mention him at the beginning?
Yeah.
Is he out?
What, are you just like tuning me out, or are you watching basketball?
I just missed that. God. I'm always watching chat, pretending like I'm listening.
Yeah, he's according to One Beat, he's officially out though. I saw like some hedging. Okay. So.
Oh, interesting. What's his price at? Just in case
so he's
he does
59. Go. So if you wanted to put Nyquist on and wait, it's 300. You have to leave 300 on the table, but I don't think that he's going to play. So I wouldn't worry about it.
Cool. That is good to know then, because that would be probably the line I would go to, Couture with Meyer and Nyquist. If I had,
if you want to go for one Pavelski team and just switch out to Nyquist or a couple, then it's only costing you $300 if you're around your lineup, right?
Sure. Yep. And then Burns gonna be my second highest owned guy behind Gio. So we could have just ended the show. You guys already know that. I'm playing Burns. I play Burns every slate almost, even when he's got the flu. It's just 4 shot attempts last game. That is worrisome.
Only 4?
Yes, that is worrisome. But it's the Kings, man. Like, what are we doing here? There's nothing that I see that makes me not want to play him outside of 4 shot attempts last game. He's gonna have games like that he did early in the season. So it's okay. I think I'm okay with it. Going down with the ship at this point. So
let's do it. We're just waiting for it to rebound. These things ebb and flow, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yep, he'll have the 3 big games in a row, and that will make up for all the lost money lately. Anything else you want to mention on this slate? Any way you want to wrap it up?
I know you hate doing this because you're probably going to correlate, but do you have any standout goalies tonight?
Standout? I like Binnington a lot.
Binnington?
And I like Malcolm Subban. I don't know.
He's cheap.
So Subban, I guess. McElhinney is one of the best values for me. I think. Yeah. He's going to see volume and probably low-ish danger volume. So that's a good thing against the Lightning, of course, back to back. But
I like that call a lot. I think those are the guys I'm looking at too. I think 2 things about this slate. One, if you're going to fade chalk, there's a lot of good spots to go and some interesting spots. I think I've said that word 25 times in this podcast. Some spots you can get some really nice leverage plays that might have a little less upside. And as well, like if you are going to go for these chalk, I think what you do is just don't correlate your goalies. Don't take Rask, don't take Smith. They're probably not going to see many shots. And their odds of you duplicating your lineups is less, and there are just higher upside plays on the slate.
I would agree with that. In general, try to find some value goalies. If you try to predict shutouts, you're gonna be in trouble. Like It rarely happens. There will probably be one tonight, and it probably won't be someone super heavily owned. So they just take so much less for those expensive goalies that don't see a lot of volume to kind of be the nuts, or it takes so much more for them to be the nuts, whereas you could get away with 7 points out of your $7,400 goalie. Power Plays did have a goalie today. Go check that out if you are a premium member. Promo code hit the ice gets you 50% off your first month of Awesemo.com premium. So do that. Hit us up in Slack if you got any questions. We'll be around, I'm sure, watching college basketball and such for the rest of the night. And for me, NHL, good luck tonight, guys. I'll be back tomorrow for the two-gamer, I think it is. So we'll chat. And then Nolan and EMAC will be doing some shows next week. So that'll be exciting.
Oh,
yeah, I'll try to tune into some of those, even though I can't play.
I like it. We can ask you questions in chat.
Yeah, for sure. My 0 hours of research. All right. Good luck tonight, guys. Catch you tomorrow.